What's up, guys? So today I'm going to give you tips on how I consistently make $1,200 on average per portrait session, and you're going to get a free download on how I communicate with my clients to earn those additional sales after the gallery is delivered. Now, this download is the exact email that I use to get some additional sales. It currently works, I would say, over 60% of the time, which is amazing. So it doesn't mean that it works every time, but you definitely get additional sales just sitting from home, sending your emails out after the session is done if you're not the in-person sales type of person. Now, you can also purchase my email pack that this comes with in the link in the description box if you like what you got. So, first of all, I want to say that I live in a town of 5,500 people. And average income is well below the national average. And the average income is also below my state's average. It's a very, very poor area, and maybe one person a year would possibly pay this amount. So my disclaimer, I do travel for these clients, or they will travel to my studio. Now, if I travel to them, they have to pay fees depending on where I travel to, obviously. And I consistently travel 3 hours north up to the Asheville, Roan Mountain, almost to Tennessee, and 3 hours south all the way down to the beach areas. So these sessions will result in a full 7-hour workday for me. Now, you can choose not to travel that far. If you live in a big city, then obviously, and the average income is much higher, you probably don't have to travel that much. I personally do. Of course, you want to tack on the travel time into your fee. It's worth it to me to travel 1 to 2 days a week for portraits or weddings and to be home with my kids the rest of the time. Personally, I don't like being in the same place all the time anyway because I have a very adventurous spirit. So this works for me. So now it's time to jump into the video. First of all, you need to price for success and with intention. And what I mean by that is you need to figure out what the pain point is in your area. And if the pain point is not the type of customer you're actually trying to reach, you want to go beyond that, then you need to price yourself higher than that. You're also going to want to price your middle collection as the target amount that you're actually trying to bring home per session. So generally, most people will book your middle package. I've gotten to the point where they're now booking my highest package a lot. So what I need to do is raise my prices probably at this point, and that would be my advice to you as well if they're consistently booking your highest package. Now, you've got to price with intention as far as what you are including in your collections. The reason an album is important to include in your collections or a book is because you'll be contracted for a certain number of spreads. I say that I have 20 sides, you're going to get 20 sides, which is 10 spreads. But at the end, and all the session is done, I've designed their album, I'm going to design their album with probably 14 or 15 spreads. So that's 4 to 5 more spreads than what I've contracted to give them. And what I do is I let them know that they can always take out the additional spreads to get back down to the 10 and get the free album that came with their collection, or they can keep a few. Each additional spread is anywhere from $75 to $150, depending on the type of book or album that I'm making them. Now, the key to this is making sure that each spread on its own is very important. And the reason is because, like, when I give my clients options, they've already chosen what photos that they want in their album. So I'm choosing from those photos that they've chosen to design the album. What happens is if I make a spread that's non-negotiable to take out, then they're not going to want to take out spreads. And the way I let them edit is they get to remove a spread. So if you're giving them 10 spreads with their package and you design 15 and every spread is really, really important to the album, like I'll do a spread of just the dad and the newborn or just the mom and the newborn. They're not going to take those spreads out. Or maybe I'll do a spread of just the close-ups, like macro of the feet and hands. They're not going to want to take that spread out. So they're going to have a really hard time choosing what spreads they want to take out. This generally results in 2 additional spreads in their album. So for my middle package, I'll sell an additional 2 spreads at about $100 each. It's really dependent on the album. So the album that comes with my middle package is not the premium album that I offer with my signature package. So basically it'll be anywhere between $75 to $150 per additional spread. So on average, I'm going to bring in about $200 additional per album, so per session that I'm giving out. So that raises what I'm actually bringing in, the amount of money I'm actually bringing in. You also want to add prints to some of your collections. And the reason is because you sell what you show. I personally give my clients metallic prints. They are gorgeous. And the reason I do that is because they're not going to be able to get these prints anywhere else. They're going to have to come back to me for that. So once they take, the 15 downloads or whatever that they got with their package and they go print them out at Sam's Club and they compare those prints to the prints that I've given them, they're going to want to come back to me for any gifts that they give to other people or for any prints that they want to do. Another thing that I add to every package is a print credit. So even if it's just $10 or $15, I'll do a print credit to their gallery. And the reason I do that is because they are encouraged to buy something to begin with. Once your client starts looking at the gallery and they're like, okay, well, I have $25 to spend or I have $15 to spend, they're actually going to find other things that they're like, oh, what's this? Oh, this is a pretty USB. Or, oh, look at this wall art collection. Or look at this and look at that. Generally, you've got them at a point where they have to shop on your gallery, their gallery. So they're going to spend more money. The second thing you want to do is add variety in the galleries that you're delivering. You want to maximize the amount of variety because you can then upsell your galleries as well as your albums and prints. So for instance, with my packages, you'll get like 15 images for one, 30 images for another. And what will happen is they will have a problem choosing like, okay, 15 images, you've got close-ups, you've got far away, beautiful, landscape views, you've got macros, you've got the baby, you've got mom and baby, you've got dad and baby, you've got, the more variety you show them in their gallery makes it so hard for them to choose the allotted amount of photos that came with the collection. This will help you upsell. So if you do sell your entire gallery, so I sell for my portrait sessions, I'll sell my entire gallery for $500. So if you sell the entire gallery, then that's additional funds that will come to you. Okay, this one is important. Communication after the session, and I do mine via email. What I say, and I'm going to give you this email for your download, but the important part, of course, you've already established a relationship with your clients, but if you buy your full gallery within 72 hours, I'll give it to you for X amount of money. So you could say $200, $300, $400. If you charge $1,000 for your galleries, you could do it for $600. But this is a way to make a fast, quick, extra sale. And you've already got other products in your packages, so you're going to have upsells on those as well. You really don't have to do in-person sales to make the extra dollars. I use drop-down menus on my website to add on additional items to their album. They have to make a choice, so they have to look at the choices. This is so very important. You've already got an audience on your site where you can sell things. When you know you have that person's attention, you need to shine. Use photos, use videos, whatever it is of your products that you have. So basically, I'll do a form on my website. It comes back to me in the form of an email. And you'll see here, I made an additional, it says $400 or $500 that I'm looking at, but it was actually even more than that. It ended up being later because I put additional spreads. This brings me to number 4, your branding and your website. So the most important thing is you need to niche down to attract the clients that you want. You want to be the premier photographer in your niche to attract the larger price points. So for me, I personally split up my website into 2, and I might actually go to 3 websites now, one to add education in for you guys. But people see me as an authority on wedding photography, and they see me as an authority on family photography. Now, I am both because I photograph people. Weddings and families just go together. They just don't go together on a website. That's all. This brings me to word of mouth marketing and gifting. So one of the most important things that I do every year is send a gift to my clients at Christmas or a thank you gift for booking them. So if you don't celebrate Christmas or if your client doesn't, It's a good idea to send a thank you gift a few months after the session. So they've kind of forgotten about you. So what this does is it reminds them of you. It lets them know that you are thinking about them. And this is where the word of mouth comes in. So you've already established a wonderful relationship with your clients. You've already given them products, albums, things that they love. You've shot with them. You've met their families and their children. They've fallen in love with you. Now this is the last little thing that's going to push them over the edge. So last year I sent lavender seeds from my own garden, a homemade bath salt vial per couple or per family. Well, actually more if it's larger, but the homemade bath salt my son and I actually made together. It was part of I'm a homeschool mom, and so it's part of his projects. And you put that in the letter that you write them. And then I also included a matted handmade calligraphy quote. So I did this myself. If you don't know how to do calligraphy, no problem. You could do something else, but this is within my range of talents. So I can send there's something that's personal to you that's in your range of talents that people would actually really, really absolutely love. Imagine receiving that as a client from your photographer. They're not just your photographer. When you establish a relationship with your clients like this, you become a part of the family, and that is so important in the experience. You're not just a photographer to them. So an additional note, you actually only need a few clients at that price point to start building on it with your word of mouth marketing if you really want to work the system and get your clients to fall in love with you. I booked and I don't know what kind of chemist, but I booked, it was actually a husband and a wife that are chemists. So I booked a husband and wife chemistry team that they work at different places in 2 different cities. And what this did was put me into a category of people because they referred their friends to me. So she referred her coworker, who was actually a chemical engineer, and he was getting married to another chemical engineer that lived an entire state away. Once you start getting in with the people that have the ability to pay your prices and they start referring you to other people, that's how you start making the money that is going to sustain you for the long run. Now, obviously, I do have expenses such as the albums, books, prints, whatever, I put in my packages. But on average, I do make $1,200 per portrait family newborn session now. Now my weddings, I make about $3,500. That would be my average sale for a wedding. But for my portrait sessions, that's what I make. What I'm trying to do personally is replace my wedding income with my portrait session income. And the reason I'm doing that is because I do have health issues. I have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's syndrome, fibromyalgia, the list goes on. And I'm thinking 5 to 10 years from now, I'm going to need to retire from wedding photography. The physical push for me is I'm not going to be able to make it anymore. And I need the ability to call in sick. When you shoot a wedding, you don't have that ability. So I started, messing around with raising my family prices just a year ago, thinking it was going to be a full year before I got up to the price point I wanted to be at. No, it was insane how fast people started booking me at the higher prices. And it really, really started when I changed the appearance of my website. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this video helps you with your business to bring in the money and to bring in the wonderful clients. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.